Hello, this is your host, Stephen Carter, for the Weird, Wacky, and Traditional Holidays show. Today's show is all about the International Day of Happiness, how it came to be, and how you can increase your experience of happiness. The International Day of Happiness is celebrated worldwide on March 20th of every year. The idea for this day came from philanthropist, activist, statesman, prominent United Nations Special Advisor Jamie Ilian. His idea was to inspire and mobilize a global movement for happiness. In 2011, Ilian brought the concept of creating a new global day of awareness to the United Nations. He managed to forge a coalition of United Nations countries, 193 UN member states. That assured that he could secure the endorsement of the then Secretary General of the United Nations, Ban Ki-moon, who moved the adoption of the International Day of Happiness through the United Nations General Assembly. In support of the International Day of Happiness, the United Nations publishes the World Happiness Report. How does the United States stack up against other countries? We are 18th among all of the world countries, with an average life satisfaction of about 6.88 out of 10. While that's fairly high, the sad fact is our happiness levels have fallen. They've declined every year since the report first began in 2012. This year's score is the lowest yet. So an important question is, who is responsible for happiness, not only in the United States, but in all countries? I think the government has a role to play, but I also think we as individuals have the most important role to play. So I would ask you a couple of questions. First, as you listen to this today, right now, on a scale of 1 to 10, how happy are you? How happy are you? Let's say my happiness level's not so great. The weather outside is terrible. We may get some snow, even though this is the first day of spring. Maybe I'm a 5. So I ask this question, what could you do right here, right now, to raise your felt sense of happiness, even a half a point or a point? Is there someone you could call, someone you haven't talked with for a long time? Is there a book you've been meaning to read? Is there something you've been meaning to do that you just haven't gotten to, but you know that that will allow you to feel happier? So I would ask you to go ahead and do that. Make that call, read the book, do something to increase your happiness level. When we increase our happiness level, we are actually healthier, we feel better, and we are, well, happier. So what about the longer-term sense of happiness? While your happiness level may be a 5 today, overall, what is your happiness level in general? What is the state of your life? And let's say that it's a 6. You're okay, not great, so what can you do? Positive psychology research gives us one important answer. That answer is the very best, the very most proven way to enhance your level of happiness is to keep a gratitude journal. And in that gratitude journal, every day, you simply record 3 things that you're happy about, or 3 things that occurred that amazed you, delighted you, 3 important things for that day. And by the way, these can be very tiny things. In my journal a couple of days ago, I journaled that today I saw my first 2 robins. That made me happy because that was a signal to me that better days, warmer days are coming. Even though Mother Nature is holding on to winter beyond this day, which is the first day of spring, With the appearance of those robins, I know better days are ahead. That made me smile, and that went into my gratitude journal. So each day, record something. It can be big, it can be small, but something that delighted you. 3 things that delighted you that day. Maybe you had a great conversation with a significant other. Maybe you saw a beautiful smile on someone today. Maybe you just looked up at the sky and said, this is a beautiful day. 3 things that delighted you that day. When you record these 3 things each day, you are building a book of joy. On days that you're not feeling all that joyful, take your journal and just go back and look at each of the days, say the prior week or 2 weeks or a month, and notice that when you read each of those entries, you feel good all over again. And the research here is very clear. The longer you maintain that journal, the happier you will be. So I encourage you, get yourself a journal, maybe just a loose leaf notebook or something where you can copy down 3 things each day that have brought you joy, that you are delighted with, that has created a smile on your face and in your heart. Jot those down in your journal, and then review your journal every week or 2 and relive again those moments of happiness. And in doing that over time, your felt sense of happiness, your sense of overall happiness will, according to the research, that sense will improve and grow, and you will feel happier. Until our next episode, this is your host, Stephen Carter, wishing you blessings, light, and happiness.